While the broad market was getting crushed, financial Twitter had its own short list of obsessions this week. Here's what had the keyboard warriors going crazy and what you actually need to know about each one. First, GME, GameStop, it's about $22 right now. I don't. This is basically reported earnings this week, this past week. Options market price in an 8% swing going in. No fundamental thesis. Pure meme energy, like always. I don't know why you guys continue to trade this stuff unless you trade it well. I hope you do. And if you do, you have to know what you're doing. So it's a pure meme energy meets earnings volatility. FinX loves it for exactly that reason, which is fine. But honestly, it looks lower. It has this little consolidation here. You could see this. If you want to dig down on the shorter time frame, maybe it's easier for you to see. But we have this pretty obvious consolidation here, and it broke the lows of that, right? So there's your consolidation. It failed to get back into this consolidation area. You can see that this area here was an area of interest, prior support that was failing to get into. And now if we go back to the daily, it's easy to see it's downtrending. The 8 EMA is going down, the 21 is going down. The 200's flat, the 50 starting to cool down. This is just a choppy, sloppy mess. And then if you look out on the weekly, what is this doing? Like, how do you trade this? What is this back in 24? Apparently, I tried to take a trade, or maybe maybe it was a plan, or I was practicing or watching or something like that. Either way, the old Dave was trading this. The new Dave, don't trade this stuff. You can't. You can, but you have to trade it well. You have to know what you're doing. And this stock can hurt you, and it has hurt a lot of people in the past, especially with the Hood stuff, the Robin Hood stuff that happened a couple years ago, right? So it was pretty wild. MSTR, I actually just went over this one in my weekly video. I was looking for a short on Thursday at 136.50. I put the order out. My order never got stabbed, never got taken. I was risking the high of the day, 139.09. And then, Friday we gapped down. I missed the trade, is what it is. But basically, massive options volume all week. Bitcoin proxy is a geopolitical chaos environment. Traders using it as an inflation/war hedge alongside gold. But Saylor's conviction play keeps drawing a crowd every time the macro gets ugly. But really, I looked at Bitcoin in my other video, which you should go watch. But what does Bitcoin do? Bitcoin has been, so you can see distribution, made a leg down, digests that leg down, distributes, and then makes another leg down. And it's now, I don't know if this is distribution or accumulation. This could be it. But there's the possibility of this going to 50 it's not out of question for Bitcoin. And then maybe if it goes to 50, then it'll digest and continue to kind of reverse. But it's kind of what Bitcoin does. It always has big drawdowns, big moves. Just it's the name of the game with this one. So MSTR. I'm looking for a short personally. I think this tests at least the $100 level. I will be looking for a short. I wouldn't mind a bounce to the 136.50 area again. I'd take that. I'd take that bounce and maybe risk that 143 or so, maybe even this consolidation area. It just kind of depends on where price actually ends up at. But I have a plan to short this thing. All right, let's look at INTC. INTC, unusual options activity, flag midweek. Debate turnaround candidate or a value trap. Foundry business getting attention as onshoring/tariff narrative heats up. But basically, this is not doing anything. It's chopping sideways. It's if you're a support buyer, this is a potential play for you. You could see that this area is an area of interest for support, but this is not moving. You don't want to waste your energy on names that aren't moving. It's a waste of your energy. It's a waste of your time, honestly. ARM Holdings, in the stocks keep traders engaged. List multiple days of stock twits, basically, I guess. AI chip architecture story staying alive even though through the sell-off. So key support levels are in focus here. This is actually pretty interesting. So you can see it has a nice little rounding base here. I would say, if you're going to trade anything out of these names from this video today, ARM could be one of them. We do have prior supply within, I'd say you got to look for these topping tails and like close areas. So it got pretty close to it. But but it might have a little bit more room to run and then pull back. But for entry wise, if you guys are looking for it, it broke this area of interest here, which is actually pretty solid. I would look. It's at the area of retest. It's at the area of interest. ARM actually looks pretty solid. I like the rounding base. It just depends on what happens in the short-term time frame here. Anything, so we have a little consolidation demand area here. We have a gap up. Maybe we get a fill of this gap range to 140. That's a potential area that gives you confluence of the 8 EMA. Even, if you get a quick pullback to the 21, somewhere within this consolidation area, you can risk the low maybe of 130. If you can get it at like 134, a quick pickup and go, that'd be pretty solid. ARM, honestly, it doesn't look too bad. I'm not a super fan of longs right now in this overall environment, but if you needed a long itch to scratch, like big global view of things, it's in a huge range. But if you want to go short term, catch a little bounce, I think ARM may give you that potential. Carnival Cruise had earnings this week. Oil at 102 is a direct hit to the cruise margins, basically. FinX is split, dip buyers versus put buyers, high beta consumer name, and brutal macro environment. So sentiment is very divided on this. Honestly, this looks lower to me. It just looks lower. You can see that it is in a consolidation area right now. It's just kind of chopping within this box. Okay, right there. I would look for a break of that box either way. My bias is lower. If we want to put an anchor VWAP from this prior low right there, you can see that the average participant is underwater from that low. That's not something that's not strength. That's not strength, okay? It is also below this prior support. You see we got this gap fill here. EMAs are trending lower. 50 is about to cross the 200. So for those that like the death cross looks, see Carnival. Honestly, Carnival looks lower. Carnival looks lower. It doesn't really. I wouldn't touch it. So if you're looking for longs, I would say I'd go for ARM if I were to actually be trading that thing. All right, TSM. Here's a quick history. BE. This, I know a lot of people are continuing to try trading this. They're getting chopped like onions. RGTI. Right. This is the history. Let's just look at these. Are they going up? Right. Are most of these going up? No, they're not. So this is my point and why I do this FinX stuff is a lot of these names, they're hot. And when they're hot, but they absolutely get obliterated when the market environment is not conducive to their type of trading. And so if you're going to listen to people on Twitter, on FinX, on FinTwit, on YouTube, on whatever your social media is, you need to vet them, keep them in check, and I expect you to do the same thing for me. But don't listen to people blindly. Don't even listen to me blindly. I'm not telling you to listen to me. I'm just trying to help you understand, like, listen, people are wrong. And you don't just go blindly buying things and holding them, and then you become a bag holder because you don't actually know what you're doing. Then you lose a lot of money, and it's a problem. Rivian, poor Rivian. I would short Rivian because it just continues to be a heartbreaker. I think Rivian looks like a short this week. I'm going to put an alert on that just to see. You can catch me next week, see what happens. FSLY looks pretty solid, looks strong. This is a very relatively strong name, so that looks pretty good. But 90% of these names, they are not doing it. Oh, GLW. This is actually pretty interesting, though. This is an AI build out, glass, fiber optics, things like that. So it's at a pretty interesting level. So GLW looks pretty interesting as well. But again, most of these, they're getting beaten down. And if you were trading these especially without risk, if you don't know how to manage your risk, I covered hood in my other video. Go watch it. Dell looks pretty solid, right? Dell looks good. Rocket Lab, dang, getting hit. I look for lower. It is at a 200 EMA, close to it, so 57.85 ish. Just watch that for the bounce. But what I would do is I would watch that for the bounce and then set an alert on your support area for a retest and potential short entry there. Okay. So this is ASTS, same thing. Watch the break of that low. SNDK failed breakout. From failed moves comes fast moves. So don't be shocked if we get this 550 area. Just saying it. Don't be shocked if we get it. Okay. Manage your risk. IREN, IREN. Okay. All of these names. All these names. They're all getting hit. They were all hot at one point in time. NBIS. Look at that. Got crushed last week. Jeez. Especially after that gap up. That's unfortunate. Right. So if you're chasing these things, you're getting crushed. BIAF. Be mindful of this. This has had a absolutely monster move. It's consolidating. This it could go higher. I'm not saying that it couldn't, but you need to manage your risk. The freaking this consolidation. Let's just start from here, from the low to the high is, I'll say that not even this, right? I'll just say this consolidation is 40%. How do you manage that? You would have to, good God, like 7% in an hour. Jeez, you got to be like a support buyer and risk like a few cents to do that. Like that's just wild. It's under $5. I don't touch these names. That's one reason why I don't touch those names. SoFi getting hit. This was once a FinX darling, getting smashed, which is just unfortunate. Micron, at a support area. Don't be shocked if we hit the at 272 or even 250s. Don't be shocked if that happens. Broadcom consolidation looking lower, right? So again, all of these names, Meta absolutely getting crushed. Go watch my other video, my weekly market video. I am looking for a bounce play this week. I would love a gap down and then get bought up to hold for like 2 or 3 days. AMD, all these guys, NVIDIA getting smoked. SMCI. I covered this video last week. Go watch my last week video. Basically, the CEO. There's been a lot of fraud. So I think this is a short opportunity. Just when to enter is another idea. So I'm not sure. SOC, I said this was a strong one into next week, which indeed it was. And so that was nice, 13% on the week. This continues to look strong. Basically another energy play. Okay. SOC, AMPX. It's at an interesting level, prior breakout area. I wouldn't trust it too much. PLTR. There you go. Tesla. Don't try to touch it. All right, there you go. So hopefully that's helpful. The point is, every one of those names is highly volatile right now. The market is moving on headlines that can flip overnight. Size accordingly. Know your levels before you enter, and don't let financial Twitter be a risk manager. That is your job. Literally, it's your job. Nobody else's job. We'll see you next week.